Will you please join me as we light the chalice and begin our worship service?
Can't hear you.
While we,
sorry. Please join me as we light the chalice. While we light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, celebration of love and life we share together.
I get to start the service. My name is Gordon, and what I'm going to talk about today is this is the last day that I'm ever going to do this. Because from now on, good George, and but from now on I promise, when I'm at the microphone, if I ever get the chance again, I will tell a joke or two. So anyway, what I'm here to talk about today is this thing in your seat. Yes, I will increase my pledge. And why do we need that? Because we're $16,000 short of our budget. And every time we have to come up short, if the board has to go back next week and cut things, well, let me tell you, that's not a good idea. Because those are all things that are generally new, and the biggest thing that we're doing now is improving our advertising. Most of us grew up in print advertising, and you could see it, you could feel it, you could cut it out and share it with others. But now we're in the digital age, and so it's a different ball game. And so we've entered that in a really good way. And it's number of impressions is what counts. And so we're hoping that we can make some impression on people, and especially some younger people. Some younger people. And we have a few coming, and we need a few more. We'd like to have some children. I remember when Ann Harrison had almost 40 kids in Sunday school. And that was when we were back at the Beth Yom Temple, renting the building. And now we have our own building, and that's another big expense that we have, is just maintaining this building. And we're coming up on 15 years of being in this building. Hard to believe. But a lot of maintenance items. We've got 7 air conditioners and blah, blah, blah. And so we have to maintain that thing. And we've got to pay our employees. And we want to do social justice items. And so that's really important. That's who we are. This community needs to know about us. We are special, and we do special things, and we attract special people, and we are unique. We're not cookie cutter. We're different, and the community needs to know that we exist. I know 30 years ago when I found this church, I felt like I was at home, and I am, and with you people, and we have many diverse views and ways of looking at things. But we need to let this community know that we exist. And we have to do some advertising. So I'm looking at some things that Clay and Patricia have said, Gordon, think about these things. Don't give this up. I want you to know I've got a stake in this game. 2 weeks ago when I was here, I told you I'm increasing my pledge by $2,000. And that's an at-once $2,000. And I'm doing that because I believe in us, and I want you to know that I believe in it, so I'm not just up here talking through my hat. And so I want you to think that way and give us more money. And so you saw that paper on your seat there or near you, and you can fill it out and give us some more money. You know, I know Clay said the other day he went through another $1,000 in, and that's the way we get that $16,000. And sometimes it's $100 at a time, and we'll take it. We'd love to have it, so we need some more money. I'm going pretty fast here. I'll quit. Those are the major things, and I'm willing to talk to any of you about anything about the budget and about raising the money for the church. Now, the $156,000 that the pledge drive gives to the church to spend is only part of our expenses. If you look at the whole budget, it's much greater than that, because we have other income, like the concerts, and some people rent from us, and so it's really important. We need your money, and that's what I'm up here to ask for. Some more money. Fill this form out. And if you're watching us on television, oh, there you are, we need your money as well. So give us some more money. Surprise us with your generosity. and thank you for listening. Now fill out those forms.
Let me add, once you fill out the forms, you can either put it in the plate when that's passed, or you can put it in the box.
Oh, I forgot that, yeah. After you fill that thing out, there's this place in the back to deposit that, so we can record it immediately, because the board meets next week. And based on what we get done here today, is how much they don't have to cut, or do have to cut. And you know when you cut, the newest things get cut. And it's our advertising that's so important, to let the world know we exist. Thanks.
Thank you, Gordon, and thank you for your passion for this church and for the people of it, and that's why this is such an important time in the life of this congregation. Welcome. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. Those of you who are first-time guests or visitors, I'm going to give you an opportunity, if there happen to be any of those kind of folks here, to introduce yourself. And so, is there anyone here that is visiting for the first time or second time? And if you would, please stand and tell us your name, where you're from, because somebody else is from there too.
Okay. I'm Lisa Delucio. I'm visiting my sister-in-law here, and I'm just here today.
Welcome. Good to have you here.
Did I say where I'm from?
Yes.
No, I did, right? New Hampshire. Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Yes, ma'am, if you would, please.
My name is Ruth Vosper. I live in Sun City, originally from New York, Long Island. And my dear neighbor and friend, Susan Gill, invited me.
Very nice. Thank you for being here. Are there other first-time visitors and guests who would be willing to stand? That's it for today? Thank you all for coming. You who are here for the first time should know that you have made your way into one of the warmest, most welcoming, most loving congregations that there is on this continent. And I thank you for your presence here. And you should know that everything that I say, that is good about this congregation, is true. You will be loved in ways that that are unique to you, I believe. So thank you for being here today. I have a number of announcements that I want to make. First thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that this is National Poetry Month, and the Academy of American Poets has called this month into awareness for the appreciation of poetry and the beauty of poetry in the United States. And so we'll be celebrating that month today in our Poetry Month and our poetry service. Other announcements that I think are going to be important to you, please note, if you would please, the social justice. Where are you? Yeah, if you would please. Here's an unusual way to make an announcement. Give us some. She has it on her phone. I can't get it on mine. So,
It's an age thing.
the bi-monthly Moms Against Gun Violence. May 2nd, bi-monthly all-member luncheon gathering at TO's on Buckwalter Parkway in Bluffton. Opportunity to engage with other members, discuss our activities, and offer ideas, and may be visible wearing our red Moms shirts in the community, 11:30 a.m. This is Moms Against Gun Violence. Thought you guys should know about that. If you want more information, see her. She has the phone.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome, Kathy. A lot of other announcements that are necessary. I'm not going to read them out. Most of you are able to pick up and read, so if you would please. Also, I do want to draw your attention that the CARE Committee will meet briefly after the service on April 30th in the Clara Barton Room. Please mark your calendars. And Lynn Nortenberg has asked me to share this. The small group dinners for this round will end at the end of May, and we will form new groups for those who are interested in June. Those groups will meet until October, and if you are interested in finding out more about the dinners, contact Lynn Nordenberg, and she'll let you know who's doing what, where, and when, and that'll be important for you. So I want to tell you a little story before we go any further. While we were getting ready to get started, there was a small child that made her way to the back door back there. Now, I was one of the few people that was noticing what was going on, but she was desperately intent on finding the person in whose lap she's now seated. And once she got there, once she was able to see that face, her face lit up, that adult's face lit up, and now they are there together, and that just made my day. The poetry may be good too, but that just made my day. Thank you. Let's see. Cheryl, I believe you have some opening words, and to fix anything that I broke.
I have a few opening words here. No, it's brief. But why are we talking about poetry in church? Well, Karen Harris of the UUA Tapestry of Faith says that poetry can be an accessible and profound tool in our spiritual practice as we journey toward becoming more conscious as human beings and as Unitarian Universalists. From The Sounds of Poetry, a brief guide written by Robert Pinsky, a two-term poet laureate of the United States, he quotes Robert Penn Warren, who is a double award winner in both fiction and poetry, or fictionary. You can blend those words. And Robert Penn Warren says, "The poem is a little myth of man's capacity of making life meaningful. And in the end, the poem is not a thing we see. It is rather a light by which we may see, and what we see is life." So poetry has a lot to do with life. Poetry is a literary art form characterized by a strong expressiveness of words. Poetry asks the best questions, like how do we live? What do we love? What deserves our faith? Who are we and where do we fit in the universe? You would think by our age we would know that, but some of us are still searching, and our search has led us here. I personally use poetry as therapy, writing about something that I'm struggling with, or sometimes something I'm celebrating, like babies. Poetry read aloud, which you're going to experience today, is immediate and powerful. Pinsky says that the pleasure and value of reading poetry cannot be overstated. Pay attention to the words of a poem. The words convey the feeling of the poem, and the feeling is the message. We will share with you today original poems that are concerned with the elements of your spiritual life: hope, love, faith, compassion. Thank you.
And if you would please, open your hymnals to hymn number 311. And may we stand and sing together.
Thank you. This is the part of our service where we share our joys and concerns. We feel that if we share our joys, it enhances them, and when we share our sorrows, it makes them easier to bear. This part of the service is not streamed for your privacy, and we ask that you make no political announcements, nor any other announcements. Anything. Just your joys and concerns. So, if you have something to share, if you would come forward, take a stone from the table, give us your name and what you want to talk about, and then place the stone in a carom. stones, God will place in the cairn for those joys and concerns that remain in our heart. And now, if you will turn to, in your hymnal, to the affirmations, number 502, and read that with me. I can put my glasses on so I can read it. Now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done, and not some future day or future year. It is today that we give ourselves for the greater usefulness of tomorrow. Today is the seed time. Now are the hours of work, and tomorrow is the harvest and the playtime. Sure.
Basket's behind the chair. Go to this mic. You're reading your poem over here, right? It's poems.
No, I'm doing the collection for the church.
I thought we were doing 4 poems first.
4 poems first?
Yeah. Yeah, you're here. Read your poem.
Okay. In my defense, I've been having vertigo for the last 4 days. So I'm a little dizzy. This poem is entitled Dad. He made me on a moonlit night beside the lake beneath the pines. I came down on a moonbeam, or so he said, and very unexpected. He rocked me on the back porch swing while Mother cooked and brothers played. He worked 3 jobs to keep us fed and taught us not to waste a thing. He talked about his boyhood days of breaking horses, pitching hay, and how he once was known as Pat of Pat and Mike, his closest chum. I tried to see the boy inside, this man who worked at life. Did he know how to play at games, to laugh, to prank, to waste a day? When I was 8, I made him laugh, but I don't remember how. But the image of his face convulsed is clear to me as though it were now. The father-daughter wars we fought were difficult, terrible, and sad. But time and life's experience made changes in us both. We were wiser, softer, braver, showed feelings without fear. We could accept each other whole, not just the dream of who we could be. Today, my dad is with me when I choose a donut glazed or a bag of orange circus peanuts that I don't need, but do need. He is with me in the garden when I'm dirty, sweating, digging, weeding, planting like he showed me, and loving every minute of it. I miss him at odd times, never when expected. I wish I could tell him about me now. Hold your applause till the end.
how many of you are familiar with the concept 6 degrees of separation? The idea that all of humanity is connected through no more than about 6 social connections. So this poem touches on that idea. This was written by my father, Ray Brian Crow. He normally wrote humorous verse, a whole collection of it. This is one of his rare, serious poems. And he was not a religious man at all, but somehow religion sneaked into this. It's called The Handshake. The handshake is a wondrous thing, a gift from God above, by which the beggar, as the king, may show his brother's love. The handshake limits none of us by color, creed, or station, but ties each mother's son of us to sons of every nation. How many handshakes, friend, are you from any man alive? You can't be more than just a few, perhaps but 4 or 5. Each time you shake some person's hand, you carry forth a chain that travels out to every land and back to you again. This chain was handed down to you by generations past, and it will span the future too, if men and handshakes last. The handshake serves at your command. Its worth cannot be priced. For every time you shake a hand, you take the hand of Christ.
I'm Pam Green.
Step a little closer.
Good morning. Back in the day, I adopted 2 nearly identical kittens, brothers, and they ran around in circles, and they were like a circus, Barnum and Bailey. And they were so cute, and they were such personalities, and in time, personality quirks. Attention deficit disorder, narcissism, xenophobia, and resistance when I brought home a rescue dog. Now, this isn't going to be about how pets and their owners may resemble each other, and nor is it about how humans can act like animals and vice versa. You can decide that. This poem is for entertainment purposes only. It's called The One That Didn't Go Away. The likes of this they'd seen before from safety crates and hiding places. Not one paw closer, brothers swore. But humans can be real disgraces. This mutt here in our feline digs is not the accidental caller. Adopted, holy grunting pigs! Will passa, confound, hiss, swipe, and maul her. For days and days the lines were drawn with sneak attacks and bloodied noses. Would canines stem her playful brawn and cats resume their rightful dozes? No bloody way, spit brother A. Just make my day, he punctuated. I'm not so sure, mused brother B, who witnessed, sniffed, and cogitated. For days and days, the lines were drawn with sneak attacks and bloodied noses. Oh my goodness. just impossible to tell apart. The cats in manners differ slightly. Bro A is alpha. B has heart, whereas a dog is just unsightly. Not knowing where a double sat, Ms. Mutt's discrimination lacking, returning to the patient cat, encountered such a sucker smacking. Capricious learning's not the best, for rarely anyone is trusted. All red alerts are vital, lest you turn the corner and you're busted. When B capitulated first, Ms. Mutt chose not to bite severely. In truth, you'd think he'd ended first, but B encountered slobbers merely. And that left brother A alone, defending chow, turf, pride, and water, till it was known for quite some time B didn't fight Ms. Mutt, but sought her. Well, what's an alpha cat to do? Avoiding persons who might witness. In increments, he joined the two, while keeping pride and weapon fitness.
Good morning, I'm Diane Valeri, and this poem was inspired by a homily that I heard here. It's called The Oreo of Human Rights. Take 2 solid wafers of rich, chocolatey half-truths. Sandwich them with a smooth, sticky concoction of white lies, a tempting treat for the childlike, meant to be gobbled whole and washed down with the skim milk of human politics, manufactured from crumbs of misinformation, served up by the fat few, neither seeing or caring about the starving, who dream of something sweet and wholesome, not listed on their hometown menu. Our mission, should we decide to accept it, is to find a new recipe and a new cookie cutter.
If you have brought food for the Sandalwood Food Pantry, please leave it in the back as you exit the sanctuary. And now we will take the collection for the support of this church. Thank you for your generosity to this church that we love. The next poet The next poet to read will be Janice Stiles. Carol Stevens has called in sick this morning, so Jen will be next.
Good morning. Morning. I wrote this poem quite a number of years ago. It will become obvious. It speaks to being in rhythm with the many cycles within cycles, wheels within wheels, especially in times of unknown. When to wait and when to act. David's turning it up. Got it?
Try it.
Whoa. I write poems from inner listening, as some of you know, and where I'm given the words from the essences that I'm feeling urged to express. Sometimes I don't even know what they mean, but they come together. So I'd invite you to close your eyes if you'd like, and just settle into a quiet space. In this temple of darkness, stillness reigns, and waiting is nigh. Silent snow deafens all that yearns, and so hides the dried grasses and dead leaves of cycles ended, complete. Secrecy holds deep the future child, until warmth rushes to unfold the blossoms, who remember seeds planted of passion and hope, pulsing sweet nectar to brush the breezes of spring, quickening the pregnant fullness of life lived at fever pitch. Wait not, for loss of this one and never returns in kind. Open the galaxy's breath of what is to be, drawing elements of stars and ethers to form and collide and gather and lock. Solar winds thrust and surge, rhythm and shape of creation accomplished. To wait is not to sleep and dream, nor fear what seems unknown, but submits to the smith's heat and hammer, who wrenches free blade prepared and wisdom set. The more invested, the more to wield. Bliss rests with the waiting hunger, when cradled in thy way and thy bow, then easily welcomes the sound of perfection being forged.
I'm Donna Titus, and I've been writing poetry all my life. I wrote this one in 1987, and it's about a tree that fell down in the woods, in the forest. Or is it? Maybe not. Death on the forest floor is not the worst thing you could find. Coming across a blowdown in the woods brings other things to mind. A tree gone by, and now, horizonward, it lies suspended in its own domain. Stark branches sticking out like stiffened arms, trying to ward off age and pain. It will go on down into the earth, then into rebirth, tree to seed to tree. so you might find something of your own blown down, examined, and set free.
Substitution for the lady who couldn't.
All right, Ellen's strapped in, ready to go. This song is for everyone who loves the forest. And Donna loves the forest. I love the forest. And lately I was inspired to sing about it. I'd love you to join in the chorus. The words are in the program, on the back of your program. I think they're in bold.
No, on the insert.
On the announcements.
Oh, on the insert. Thank you. So the chorus goes like this. Living in the church, living in the leaves, praising the miracle of life in the church of the tall trees. You ready? We're going to do it now together. Living in the church, living in the leaves, praising the miracle of life in the church of the tall trees. Oh, that was so good. I feel better. Prayers among the treetops, captured on a breeze, fractured rays of morning sun in the church of the tall trees. Walking slow, living in the leaves, life at nature's speed. Bird serenade on every branch in the church of the tall trees. Are you ready? Here it comes. Living in the church, living in the leaves, praising the miracle of life in the church of the tall trees. That was even better than practice. Direction never is in doubt as quietly we tread. Winter, spring, summer's growth rising from the dead. Deep in roots, the water moves, inward, upward, cell by cell, to steeples high and mighty in the church of the tall trees. Ready? Here it comes again. Living in the church, living in the trees, praising the miracle of life in the church of the tall trees. These are the roots where all life lies. Don't stop that cycle, please. Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah. All life lies, nurtured by the bees. But you knew that. Echo through millennia in the church of the tall trees. Trapping carbon, clean the air. Right, David? Yeah, it's true. Don't stop that cycle, please. It's your gift. You give us life in the church of the tall trees. Now we're going to sing it twice. Living in the church, belt it out. Living in the trees, praising the miracle of life in the church of the tall trees. Beautiful, one more time. Living in the church, living in the leaves, praising the miracle of life in the church of the tall trees.
The poets, the writers, the artists, the dreamers of a freer way will persist, assist, and resist, invoking, evoking, provoking, convoking, and awakening the populace, you, poets, or the sacred, you, prophet, artists, or the hope. You are the resistance, so writes David Breeden. For all of you who took part in this and dared to write something that you want to read in public, I thank you for your courage and for making us a better people because of your gift and for your sharing of that gift with this congregation. Thank you so much for it. I do want to remind you that the Path to Belonging, our second quarter, begins this afternoon as soon as the talkback is over. Those of you who have not been a part of our talkback, I would encourage you. Are we having it, David? Yes. Those of you who have not been part of a talkback, I would encourage you to stay. You get a feel for who we are and what we're about, and a better feel for who we are as a personality. So that's some of my closing words. David, I believe you have some closing thoughts as well, too.
So I've been given the honor of doing the final thoughts for the day, and first I got to say that everybody who shared their words today, I want to thank you all. I think they all deserve a great time. There's some beautiful stuff here. Beautiful stuff. when Cheryl first came to me and suggested that we do this service, I started thinking about the power of words, and I wrote a song, but I didn't want to compete with Mike, so I'm not going to sing this song. I'm just going to read the lyrics here because these are good final lyrics. It's called Use Your Words. Some use their words to talk about how nature does its part. Spirits live in the woods, and it makes us feel good when the air, it fills our hearts. Others talk about travel and time and things, all reasons to make us smile. We listen and think, close our eyes with a wink. Makes us think of when we were a child. Use your words to move others lightly. Use your words to shake up the world. Words can move mountains, spark actions like fountains of love in our hearts and our minds. Small things can be described with beauty, and simple things can make us cry. Sometimes the words can talk about a dream, make us think, make us wish, make us smile. So let's fall in love with everything, side with love each and every day. Light your chalice and raise your voices and sing about the power of words and say. Use your words to move others lightly. Use your words to shake up the world. Words can move mountains, spark actions like fountains of love in our hearts and our minds. Thank you all for joining today.
Join me now as we extinguish the chalice. Please stand if you're willing and able. While we extinguish the flame, we still bear in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment, until we are together again.
That was a great way to end it. Thank you. Yeah, I like your song.
Sounds familiar. Maybe you've read it up to other writers, but
I don't think so. I think that was the first time I shared it with anyone today.
I don't know. It sounded familiar. I thought so.
Someone else. I probably copied somebody. How was it?
I totally love that chorus, Use Your Words.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a really nice way to tie it all up.
Remember that last part? It was so rare. So if you call her George,
Good job. Okay.
pumpkin.
Thank you. Yeah, you as well. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable.